On the liberated Zafri slave world of Wolf 359 Beta, two children complained about school, like they all do. One, Sally Tompkins, daughter of a human peacekeeper, and the other, Zextian, a male youngling of formerly enslaved furry mammalian raccoon-like Zetins. School was boring. Why couldn't they just go out and play? Being the constant refrain of all school-bound children. They were 30 standard minutes from the end of the school day, and as agitated as any adolescent within a stone's throw of freedom. "Hey, psst, Zex!" Human Sally poked her fuzzy companion with her pencil. "Want to go climbing trees again today after school?" "I can't. My pa will rip my claws off if I didn't pass maths this year. He says maths are what kept us down with the Safri. That and history. History is hard," Zex said, depressed. He'd been held back a grade before. Human school was hard. Oh, we can go see Uncle Jeff. He knows all about maths and history. He was a starship gunner in the war. With his help, you'll pass for sure." A suddenly damn near glowing Sally exclaimed. "He lives just over the hill, where the sun rises. I'm sure he'd help you, us, study for our exams." Not seeing a difference between old humans lecturing him in study hall and Sally's positively ancient uncle lecturing him, he chose whatever would make her happy. "Alright, let's go see Jeff after school." Sally, ecstatic, whispered, "Deal." They were still in class after all, and she didn't want to attract the teacher's attention. Stern Mrs. Tobruk caught them red-handed, or clawed. "Ahem, Miss Tompkins. Is there something you would like to share with the class?" Sally, a usually model student, panicked. She'd never been in trouble before. Yes, miss. I was just planning a trip to my good Uncle Jeff. He's a veteran, you see, and I thought he could, help the new students with history and maths." Mrs. Tobruk smiled devilishly. Jeffrey Tompkins was a notorious hermit and gun nut, and as laden with as much PTSD as a man can be and still be ambulatory. "Oh, why don't we make it a field trip? That way the whole class could benefit from his experience, and not just you and your friends." Sure, in her black heart Sally would decline and submit to a detention for talking in class. Sally beamed at the suggestion. Yes, sorry miss. I meant that could absolutely be arranged. Let me talk to Papa and Uncle Jeff first." Beaten at her own game, Mrs. Tobruk relented to scheduling a field trip. One she hoped would be dull. Mrs. Tobruk had lost control. What was supposed to be a nice historical field trip with some maths on the side had devolved. Uncle Jeff was in his element. "Alright, lads. You got a target 2,400 meters away," he says, pointing to a broken tractor on his property, whilst patting a war-era 50 cal anti-material rifle with two children manning it. Jeff, revisiting his rank in the human army, "What is the muzzle velocity of this damned old-ass gun class?" In unison, 1,200 meters per second, Captain." "And how long would it take to hit its target, assuming you aimed it right?" inquired Uncle Jeff. In unison, 2 seconds, Captain." Captain Jeff, "Very good, class. Now, with your home planet's gravity being a mere 8 MSS, how much bullet drop do we have to account for? That's 1.5 XAXT squared for you mathy folks." Of course, Sally raised her hand. Uncle Jeff ignored her openly, but gave her a wink. "Well, if none of you can do the math without a calculator, let's measure it. This is science, after all." And with that, Uncle Jeff walked out 400 meters, 800 meters, 1,200 meters, 1,600 meters, 2,000 meters, and 2,400, with posts masked with tape, every half meter, and jammed them into the dirt all the way next to his busted tractor. "Alright, you're going to aim high. How high?" You will record for every shot on your team. Here's a monocular for each team. You will record the aiming attitude of each shot and the landing of each shot. First team to hit the tractor 3 times in a row wins. Of course, we'll compare notes at the end. Zex wondered how he had been tricked, bamboozled, hoodwinked, into learning maths. And then he realized he was using it to win a competition to blow up a tractor with a gun. Mrs. Torbrook hated it, but best field trip ever. We got to blow up a tractor.